flourish.
Welcome to Davy's Take. Today we're talking about Death of a Unicorn. I got my unicorn horn. The Death of a Unicorn is a new A24 movie. It stars Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd, a bunch of other people. Paul Rudd is a single dad, and he's taking Jenna Ortega to this work retreat. He works for a pharmaceutical company, like a shady pharmaceutical company, like all the pharmaceutical companies. On the way there, they accidentally hit a unicorn with their car, and some fuckery happens. I'll take off the unicorn horn now. It doesn't have to be there the whole time. I was kind of looking forward to this movie. If you know me, I like original ideas. I feel like we have way too much recycled bullshit all the time. And it's A24. I feel like they barely miss. And I thought Death of a Unicorn was solid. I was a little disappointed because there's definitely potential here for this to be really great. But this movie is essentially a comedy monster horror movie. If you want to watch a bunch of pharmaceutical douchebags get picked off one by unicorns, you'll have a great time. And yeah, when the movie gets to that point, it is a lot of fun. There are sequences here that are straight out Jurassic Park. This movie does feel like at some points just Jurassic Park, but with unicorns, which honestly, saying that out loud sounds like a fantastic idea. So if you're looking for that monster type horror movie, it's definitely here, but my problem with some of those sequences, they don't feel too imaginative or really original, unfortunately. They do feel like your generic, forgettable sequences that you would see in a monster horror movie. And that's what I'm going into, where it feels like there's a lot of potential here, but it's not really executed too well. But I gotta give props to director Alex Garfman because this is the first time directing a big movie like this, and there are parts here that are impressive for your debut. But I can definitely see if he goes on to have a crazy career, they might look back on Death of a Unicorn, be really proud of what he did for his first time directing, but there's definitely things he probably wishes he would change. It also goes with the script too. This movie's still fun. There are never parts I was really bored. It's that tone of horror comedy that I think works well. But I think you could have made this story and this scenario way more interesting and way more fascinating because it definitely drags at some points. Basically, the conflict in this movie is that this unicorn they have in their possession, they don't know what to do with it, but the unicorn has abilities to do incredible things. So these pharmaceutical douchebags obviously have the worst intentions in mind when it comes to this unicorn. Somewhat of a debate of like what they should do, some moral dilemma, but it got me thinking if they had different groups of people, not just the pharmaceutical douchebags, but different facets discussing what they should do with this unicorn, it could have been a really fascinating movie. And you could have most of the groups be completely wrong about this, having the worst intentions, but it would be different because there are parts throughout the movie where it's the same thing just kind of being recycled. When it comes to like, oh, this unicorn could do this, we should probably do this with the unicorn. Oh, the pharmaceutical douchebags are going to do this instead. Something else just happened. They're going to do the wrong thing again. And that's where the movie can drag a little bit because it does feel a little repetitive. And that's where I'm saying if you had this brighter idea for this script, I think it'd been really interesting. But I will say the movie is fun because of the performances. I think everyone does a great job. I think Will Poulter was hands down my favorite performance. He plays like the son of these billionaires, and he's just a total douchebag, but it's so great to see. I think this movie itself is just a great idea that has a lot of great ideas in it. But I think you could have gone further with some of these ideas. And some of the ideas that they actually execute on, they don't execute it too well. I do like that there's an arc with Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega's relationship. That's kind of the emotional beat of the movie. But a lot of times it's just sort of forgotten about. And there are times where characters just make really dumb decisions. And I get it. It's a horror movie. Characters make dumb decisions. But there are times where some of the main characters were just making decisions. And I'm like, you know what's going on. Like, why would you do that? That's just so stupid. And we need more Anthony Carrigan. He was the best part about Barry, and you see some of it in here, and he's great, but we needed more Anthony Carrigan. Yes, more Anthony Carrigan. I'm also a little indifferent on the ending. It's a little stupid, and this movie can feel all over the place. Tonally, it's fine, but I think sometimes it's trying to be like a Jurassic Park movie, sometimes a comedy. Like, that is where it runs into some issues. So if you're looking for a comedy horror, monster horror specifically, I actually think you'll have some fun with Death of a Unicorn. But don't expect it to be some elevated experience. It definitely feels like a generic monster movie by the end of the film. But it is an impressive directorial debut. It has a lot of cool ideas. Sometimes they just don't work, and I wish they expanded on them a little bit more. I'm going to give Death of a Unicorn 5.5 Davey Daves. I wonder what the budget for this movie was, because it's A24, and I know A24 has made big movies, but it seemed like there was a lot of money pumped in this movie. I'm just curious to see that. So, Death of a Unicorn. Let me know what you guys thought of it once you've seen it. I'm curious to hear. And thank you so much for watching. Click here to see more of Davy's Takes.